Okay, let's dive into this. If you are staring at a completely fresh, factory reset Mac Pro and wondering how to take it from just a shiny aluminum brick to an absolute powerhouse of a professional workstation, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're doing a true zero to hero explainer to get your ultimate developer setup locked in. We've got a great chronological journey mapped out for us today. We'll start with the inherent MacBook developer advantage, breeze through essential system configs, master your terminal and Homebrew, grab core languages and IDEs, set up virtualization and network tools, and then finally lock it all down with pro workflow and security tips. All right, section 1, the MacBook developer advantage. So it really all starts right here. macOS is fundamentally built on a Unix foundation. And honestly, this is a massive advantage. It gives you access to powerful command line tools that behave incredibly similar to the Linux servers where your code is actually going to live. You get native terminal support, built-in scripting tools, and developer-friendly file permissions right out of the box. So whether you're into web dev, cloud engineering, cybersecurity, or spinning up complex networking labs, this Unix base makes your Mac the perfect staging ground. Now, what's really interesting about this current landscape is the hardware divide. If you're running modern Apple Silicon, the M1 through M4 chips, you are getting ridiculously fast compile times, totally silent operation, and a battery life that just doesn't quit. But hey, if you're rocking an older Intel Mac, don't sweat it. Intel Macs actually still hold a major advantage for running legacy virtualization software, Windows Boot Camp, and certain older cybersecurity tools. So really, depending on your workflow, both architectures have their own distinct superpowers.
Moving right along to section 2. Essential system configuration.
Your first move is always to update macOS. I know it sounds basic, but those security patches and updated developer frameworks are absolutely crucial. Step 2, though, is a total game changer. Go into your Finder settings and enable Show All File Name Extensions. As a dev, seeing hidden extensions and knowing if you're looking at a script or a config file is critical. Unless, of course, you enjoy spending 3 hours debugging a file secretly named config.json.txt. And for step 3, just head over to trackpad or mouse settings and turn on right-click or secondary click. You're going to use this constantly for IDE features and Git operations. Which brings us to section 3, mastering terminal and Homebrew. Out of the box, your Mac comes with a built-in terminal. It's fantastic, it's rock solid, and it is perfectly fine for your basic SSH, Git, and running some Python scripts. But power users, they almost always upgrade to an app called iTerm 2. And the biggest reason why is split panes. You can literally run a server on one half of your screen while pushing to Git on the other. Plus, it has advanced search, custom profiles, and session restoration so you don't lose your mind if you accidentally close a window. Now, once your terminal is open, you need Homebrew. Seriously, if you take away just one tool from this entire explainer, make it Homebrew. It is the absolute holy grail package manager for macOS. Instead of hunting down random DMG files across the internet, Homebrew lets you install, update, and manage your dependencies with a single command, like brew install. It completely automates developer setups and just obliterates the nightmare of dependency management. Next up, you need Apple's development tools. And you've got 2 paths here. The absolute necessity for literally everyone is running Xcode select/install right in your terminal. This instantly grabs Git, C compilers, and the essential build tools without eating up your storage. Only download the massive full Xcode app from the App Store if you're specifically planning to build native iOS or Mac apps. Otherwise, save your hard drive the trauma, for sure. All right, on to section 4, core languages and IDEs. And this setup brilliantly illustrates the power we just unleashed. With Homebrew running, configuring your core languages takes literally seconds. Need Python for some AI or networking scripts? Bam, brew install Python. Need Node.js to spin up a React app? Brew install Node. You can easily grab OpenJDK for enterprise Java or Rust for secure systems programming. It's just command after command, and your machine is instantly configured for whatever dev path you want to take. Once your languages are locked in, you need a place to actually write them. Visual Studio Code is overwhelmingly popular right now because it's super lightweight but highly customizable. When you add extensions like Remote SSH, GitLens, and Docker, VS Code basically transforms into the ultimate dev environment. On the flip side, a lot of pros swear by the JetBrains toolbox for heavyweight IDEs like IntelliJ or PyCharm. Oh, and speaking of environments, grabbing Docker Desktop at this stage is absolutely crucial for containerizing your apps so they run flawlessly anywhere. Of course, no pro setup is complete without version control. Setting up Git is a quick 4-step process. First, install it with Homebrew. Second, verify it worked by typing git-version. Third, and so many people forget this part, you have to configure your global username and email so your commits actually have your name on them. Finally, link it up with GitHub or GitLab so your source control, version history, and CI/CD pipelines are fully ready to go.
Let's pivot to Section 5, Virtualization and Network Tools.
If you're building networking labs or running Kali Linux, you're going to need virtual machines. Now, if you're on a modern Apple Silicon Mac, an app called UTM is absolutely incredible. It handles ARM virtualization flawlessly. If you're on an older Intel Mac, VirtualBox remains a super solid, reliable choice. And for those of you needing high-end, professional-grade virtualization across the board, VMware Fusion is still the industry heavyweight.
Alongside your VMs, you'll definitely want to load up on some powerhouse networking and security tools. Wireshark is your absolute go-to for deep packet analysis and TCP/IP troubleshooting. Nmap, which you can easily grab via Homebrew, is a must-have for network discovery and port scanning. And if you're getting into enterprise testing, you can even set up OpenVAS inside one of those Linux VMs for comprehensive vulnerability management.
Finally, Section 6, Pro Workflow and Security.
Let's move to your file structure and see how this builds a foundation for long-term success. Understanding the macOS layout keeps your machine running clean. You've got your system-wide applications folder, your hidden .ssh folder for secure keys, and .zshrc for your shell configs. But the real pro tip here is to manually create a dedicated developer folder right in your user directory. Subdivide that bad boy into projects, scripts, backups, and networking labs, and your workspace will never become a cluttered mess.
Let's upgrade your authentication security right now. Pop open your terminal and run the command ssh-keygen-te251519. This generates a modern, highly secure cryptographic key. You then take the public half of that key and drop it into your GitHub or server settings. Boom. You now have passwordless, incredibly secure authentication for all your future code pushes and server logins. Part of being a true pro is just having vital networking commands memorized. If you need to view your local IP, just type ifconfig. If a website or server is resolving to the wrong address, flush your DNS with dscacheutil flush cache. Need to figure out what rogue app is hogging port 8080? Run lsof-i to view your open ports. And obviously, jumping into remote servers is handled in a flash with your standard SSH command. To wrap up your pro workflow, we need to talk security and optimization. Jump into system settings and enable File Vault to guarantee full disk encryption. Adopt a dedicated password manager like 1Password or Bitwarden. Use macOS's mission control spaces to physically separate your work contexts. Keep your code over on desktop 1 and your documentation on desktop 2. And finally, always have an external SSD running time machine backups. A hardware failure should never wipe out your hard work or, your sanity. So the crucial point is this. The reason developers absolutely flock to this ecosystem comes down to unmatched versatility. Whether you are compiling mobile apps, auditing network security, or spinning up 50 Docker containers for a massive cloud backend, macOS provides a highly professional environment that can handle nearly every single workflow you throw at it, and it does it with incredible efficiency. And there you have it. You've gone from a totally blank slate to a fully secured, highly optimized, professional-grade development machine. Your environments are set, your SSH keys are generated, and that terminal is just waiting for input. So the only question left for you is, what are you going to build first? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Now get out there and go write some code.